Alrighty, to the capital we go now, to Whanganui Atara, and we are joined by Wellington Firebirds Plunket Shield captain, Michael Bracewell. Kia ora, Michael, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you, Ben. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all, thanks, mate. Thank you very much, firstly, for joining us. I understand you've got a team inter-squad game coming up. How has the preseason been going as we prepare for the Plunket Shield?
Yeah, it's been going really well, actually. We had a 2-day game last week and then another 2-day fixture tomorrow. So it's been great to get out on the basin with the refurbished outfield and play some cricket again.
Fantastic. And you mentioned it's had a full refurbish over the winter. I saw some photos of a lot of sand going down and some quite extensive works, but you've been able to get out there and have some good sessions both in the nets and in the middle?
Yeah, there's a few heavy legs there early on. It felt like you're running in Waikanai Beach there for a little bit, but it's definitely hardened up now and ready to go for the start of the season.
Nice. And in terms of other stuff that's been going on, you mentioned Waikanai Beach, but you have been also around Wellington, not just training at the basin. I saw some video of the Mount Vic burn. For people who might not be familiar with, firstly, Mount Vic, but also the Mount Vic burn. Can you tell us what the wider Wellington Firebirds squad went through a week or so ago?
Yeah, so it's been going on for sort of 4 or 5 years now, I think. You start off in the Exodus gym on the spin bikes in there, and you do 20 Ks as quickly as you can, obviously, and then you get your running shoes on and you're straight to the top of Mount Vic as quickly as you can to finish. So, it's a pretty brutal day, to be honest, but yeah, happy to see the back of it.
I can imagine, but a pretty good exercise, called quite literally an exercise, but a good opportunity for everyone to get together and do kind of a big first challenge of the season.
Yeah, it's all about guys bonding together at the top, I think. It's pretty special being up at the view, looking over Wellington and realising what we're representing when we go out to play for the Firebirds, and then obviously having that shared experience of being in a pretty dark place there for a while also brings the group together.
Fantastic. And can you tell us who did actually make it up to the top first this year?
Andrew Fletcher won it this year. He put a lot of work in this winter, so it was awesome to see him get up there and show off the work that he's been doing.
The rangy opener enjoying the view of Eastbourne, I'm sure.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Nice. And in terms of, you mentioned obviously a lot what that does for having that shared experience for the wider group, and talking about Cricket Wellington as a whole, I understand as well you've had a culture session, not just with Firebirds players, but actually for everyone involved in cricket in Wellington recently, including obviously your fellow representative team, the Blaze, but then everyone from turf staff to community cricket staff to Cricket Wellington staff members as well, from people from the whole cricket community. How's that been going?
Yeah, it's certainly not something that I've never been a part of before. Getting everyone from the community environment and cricket in Wellington together to talk about the things that they found difficult and also the things that they're most proud of was pretty special. And then there were a few past players there as well. So to get a chance to talk to a person like Sarah Hill and see how much she had loved playing for Wellington first of all, but then the pride that she gets watching the players take the field is pretty special, and it just brings the whole group together, really.
That's fantastic. And I know that's something that Wellington's been quite big on the last few seasons, even down to, for example, in the Basin Reserve change rooms down underneath, having the honours boards getting refreshed. Ryan doing a lot of hard work with having, both the Blaze and the Firebirds players up there. Even little things like that, has that been great to kind of recognise all those people who have represented Wellington and kind of put a lot of effort into representing the region?
Yeah, it does. It sort of just, I guess it gives a little bit more meaning to playing for Wellington, playing for the Firebirds and Blaze, when you look up and you can see the amount of runs and wickets that have been taken for the province. It sort of makes you realise that you're playing for more than just yourself. So getting out there and trying to do the province proud and all the people that have been before you is pretty big for the club, and it's something that we'll continue to work on as well.
Fantastic. And that kind of leads me on, I guess, to the next part of our chat as you go into the season and you come into Plunket Shield cricket, which is coming at us pretty quickly as defending champions as well. Obviously, a shortened competition last year because of COVID. There are now changes to some of the conditions of the tournament and the season because of COVID this year. How are you feeling coming into the season as defending champs, holding that shield?
Yeah, I think we're just grateful to be able to play cricket, first of all. there was a time there through lockdown and things that this upcoming season was probably pretty uncertain. So to be able to say that we're going to be playing a game in a couple of weeks with our fingers crossed is pretty special. So yeah, we're just really, I think that's one thing that COVID has sort of brought us, is a little bit of perspective as players. We're so lucky to be able to do what we're doing, and then to defending champions, it's something that, you know, that every team's going to be coming after you and trying to play their best cricket against us. So we've just got to try and stick to the things that we've done well previously. And we've always enjoyed playing at the Basin. So to kick our campaign off at home is something that we look forward to. And we've had a lot of practice in the pre-season at the Basin and getting used to the wickets. So hopefully we can get the campaign off well.
And you mentioned that you've sort of taken my next question, which is great makes an easy segue, but you have got 3 out of the first 4 rounds at home at the Basin, as you mentioned. A big part of your campaign last season was a really strong start to the season, getting a couple of early wins under the belt to start things off. What does that mean to the team in terms of your planning and preparation to know that for those first 4 rounds you've got 3 good cracks at the Basin?
Yeah, I think the Basin really suits our team quite nicely. We've got 4 fast bowlers who like to run in and hit the wicket hard. So they generally take a few wickets at the Basin, and then I think a few of the touring teams come in and see it's a bit green and see there's big nasty fasties running in, and we can get on top of them early. So that's worked for a while for us in the past, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen this year. So we need to make sure that we stick to those simple things that we do well.
And you mentioned that obviously this year is potentially slightly different, COVID aside, but one of the reasons is things are going to be slightly different is there will be more Black Caps contracted players available for the early rounds of the Plunket Shield, those that aren't featuring in overseas competitions. And your one away game to start the season is down in Christchurch at Hagley Oval against Canterbury, and they obviously will potentially, fitness allowing, have their Black Caps contracted players available, and have acquired Daryl Mitchell over the winter. In terms of a test is going away, a pretty stern one for you guys in that front half of the season.
Yeah, we have 2 games early against Canterbury, and they've got a great squad with a lot of talented players and Black Caps, as you say. So it is always, I think, with the Black Caps being back, it's going to be a really strong competition, and that's what we're after as domestic players, is playing the highest level domestically, and obviously trying to put your name up for higher honours. So the more chances we can get to play against those Black Caps players, the better, I think, so we can sort of give ourselves a chance to express our skills.
Fantastic. And talking about expressing those skills, your squad this year has got some very familiar faces for followers of Wellington cricket and domestic cricket more widely. You've added, in terms of people from outside the region, Finn Allen's come in. How has Finn come into the group? And in terms of players yourself that you've been kind of keeping an eye on, who's looking exciting coming into the season?
Yeah, Finn's looking really good. He's an exciting guy, and he's got a bit of flair about him. So we're just going to hopefully just let him go about his business. I think he was a little bit shocked at the Mount Vic burn, but it's a great initiation for a guy like that. And then another guy, Andrew Fletcher, I mentioned earlier, has put a lot of hard work in the winter, and I'd say he's sort of a player to watch this season because of the sheer amount of work that he's put in.
Fantastic, and obviously shot to sort of a few people's radars a couple of seasons ago in his first Wellington season with his fantastic work in the Ford Trophy, of course.
Yeah, he did. He had one of the best. Well, I think it was a record-setting
one day
campaign. Yeah, so he's definitely been there and done that, and I think last year didn't go as well as he would have liked. So I know he's put a lot of work in to get back to where he knows he can play.
Fantastic. And in terms of just something different for Wellington this year, I think I was just having a quick scan. And obviously, Patel, because of England commitments last year, didn't end up actually playing for the Firebirds, and of course retired from Wellington Group. But the first time you guys Wellington side heads into a first-class season without Jeetan Patel in the squad mix somewhere for the first time since 1999-2000 season. So in terms of change of the guard there, and obviously you picked up a few spinning overs yourself, but a big shift there not having Jeets around the group.
Yeah, it is. I think when you lose a guy that's has that much experience. You can't just have one person step up and take their shoes. And obviously, I'm trying to roll my arm over now, but I'm no way expecting to be Jeet and Patel first season out. So I think that's where the power is in the group, to everyone to step up and give that little bit more. We've got a lot of experience in our group now, so we'll be relying on those guys to step up and fill that pretty big void that Jeets leaves behind.
It's exciting times in that regard for opportunities for different guys. And you mentioned yourself, you ended up last season certainly bowling a few more overs. I mean, traditionally, obviously, been known more widely as a batsman. You're 4 runs short of 1,000 first-class runs for Wellington, but you also secured your first ever first-class 5-wicket bag late in the season. Can you tell me a bit more about the bowling and how that's going and how you're feeling ahead of the season generally?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to get out there. I have put a lot of work in this winter, in particular, into my bowling. It's something that it sort of reinvigorated me a little bit at the end of last season, giving myself something new to work on and focus on, really. So batting's obviously my number one still, and I'm first and foremost a batter in the side. But it's nice to be able to contribute to the team in other ways and give myself a few more options with the bowling.
Fantastic. And in terms of first-class cricket, as you mentioned, you've traditionally been known as a batsman. Just wanted to kind of talk about first-class cricket on the Plunket Shield as a sort of wider question. And obviously, you started your career down in Otago before coming up to Wellington. I wanted to kind of pick your brains and take you back actually to that time when you made your first-class debut back in 2011 for Otago. And try and sort of see what you remember from that game. I went a quick scour through the scorecard to see what actually happened between the Volts and the Stags in that game. Can you tell me what you firstly remember from that game and potentially the 2 other players who made their first-class debuts in that fixture?
First of all, I think the 2 people who made their debut, Mark Craig was one.
Yep, bingo.
Was the other one from CD?
Yeah, the other one was from CD.
Was it
a bowler?
Evan Small?
You're spot on. Good recollection.
Yeah, so we ended up winning that game. I think we bowled them out on the last day, and it was pretty cool because making my debut with Mark Craig was pretty special. And then I'm pretty sure he got a couple of wickets towards the end there to win us the game, and it was an exciting time to be playing cricket with a win down there for Otago in my first match.
And I mean, also, I guess for your own experience of that game coming to first-class cricket, you opened the batting in that fixture with Craig Cumming, who obviously is Otago's leading first-class run scorer. What was that experience like coming into first-class cricket in general? Yeah,
it was really special. I think whenever you play your first game of first-class cricket, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking. I was probably lucky because I played a one-day campaign before that, so sort of felt like I got to know the players a little bit more and things like that. But there's definitely something special about pulling on that baggy hat and walking out in the creams for the first time.
Fantastic. And do you remember who presented you your Otago cap?
I think it was Mike Hesson, the coach at the time for Otago, yeah.
Nice. And we'll fast forward now a couple of years to the Basin Reserve in late 2017 to making your first-class debut for Wellington, receiving your black baggie this time, other than the navy of Otago. Can you remember who presented your Wellington cap?
Yeah, that was Hamish Bennett. Yeah.
I imagine some pretty stirring words before that.
Yeah, he said he played a reasonably big part in getting me up to Wellington for a start. So I think he was almost looking for a finder's fee at the Hat Award. So yeah,
at the sort of HR recruitment finder's fee.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I see, and that probably sounds like you might know the answer to this question as well. So can you remember a couple of other guys debuted for Wellington that day? One of them also made their first-class debut. Can you remember the other guys who joined you in that honour on that occasion?
Yeah. It was Ollie Newton. He also got 3 wickets in his first over, which was pretty special for a first-time captain as well. I was to have a guy take 3 wickets in his first over, and then Logan Van Beek as well.
Bingo. And there was also a guy making his debut across the other side for Auckland. Can you remember who was pulling on their Auckland cap for the first time in that fixture? He'd previously represented Wellington and Canterbury, if that's a helpful clue.
No.
A bustling bowler.
Oh, wasn't Matt McEwen, was it?
You're spot on. Yeah, Matt McEwen also debuted in that game as well. And I was looking at the scorecard. There was a lot going on in this game. It was also Jed Patel's 250th first-class game, and Luke Woodcock's record number of appearances for Wellington. And then Michael Papps made 300 just to top it off.
Yeah, it was a crazy day. We won the toss and bowled on a pretty green wicket, and then we managed to. I think Auckland were 12 for 7 at one stage, and they managed to get 63. And then at the end of day one, I remember sitting in my chair and thinking, "Oh, this captaincy of first-class cricket was not too hard." I think we were 220 for none at the end of the first day, and I was thinking, "Well, that to start a day couldn't have gone much better." So yeah, I was pretty happy to be in Wellington at that point. That's for sure.
I can imagine. Yeah, you're bang on. I've just got the scorecard up actually, and they were at one point at the wicket of Ben Horn, 12 for 7. But Karen Nathula down the order, top scoring with 23, and Raja Sandhu as well with a very useful 11, managing to get Auckland through to 62 in that first innings. So yeah, it was all on.
Yes, it was just one of those days. I think that every sort of half chance we had to hand, and yeah, one of those days that you sort of dream of to start a season on.
Certainly, and just I've kept you long enough. Just to kind of wrap things up, Michael, just a couple of quick fire ones, hopefully. Firstly, in New Zealand, your favourite first-class venue to play cricket at?
Queenstown Event Centre.
Queenstown Event Centre, lovely. And then the next one being toughest bowler you've ever faced in first-class cricket?
Probably Jeetan Patel. I think that's half the reason I moved to Wellington, is I didn't have to face him.
Fair enough. If you can't beat him, join him, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last one before I let you go, the player it could be a teammate or it could be an opponent you've faced around the place, or even for New Zealand Day, who's the player you've most enjoyed watching?
I think that'd have to be Ben Sears. Just the energy that he bowls with. He bowls 145 Ks, and he really sparks the team when you play with him. So I certainly enjoy captaining him. That's for sure.
So now, should we put? I definitely think he sounds like one. I've heard, you watch him on pitch. You've never seen him live, but watching him on scorecards and things like that, he certainly looks like he's one to put in the one to watch category.
Yeah, definitely is. Yeah, he's a guy that he just absolutely loves bowling fast. He's mad about it. So yeah, it's always good to have those guys in your team. That's for sure.
Fantastic, Michael Bracewell. Thank you very much for your time.
No worries. Thank you.